The Sims 4 Survival Challenge. 1 building, 4 rooms, all containing what you need to survive. Your contestants: Janice Hamilton, Liz Reed, Matt Masters, and Jerry Flynn. Who will survive and who will fall? Contestants, choose your room. For the first 12 hours, the contestants have lived in relative luxury. No items have yet been taken away. But they've all settled in front of the TV. So obviously they need that for their entertainment. Maybe that should be the first item to go. Or maybe something else that's quite important to them. Every day at midday and every night at midnight, an item will be taken away. Here goes the first one. After careful thought, the sink will be the first to go. This means that if they eat anything, they won't be able to wash up. It's going to get rather messy in there, rather quickly. Let's see how they get on. So the first item to be taken from the rooms is the sink. Now, you'd think that because there's a shower in there, it wouldn't cause too many problems. But you have to bear in mind that if they go to the toilet, they won't be able to wash their hands afterwards. If they use a plate, they won't be able to wash it. So it is a quite important piece of equipment. Now let's see where this plate ends up. Because you won't be able to wash it.
Seraphy, beg your pardon. Galba Fateb.
Oh, here's a bit of a chatterbox. He does tend to talk to himself a lot. Oh, here we go. Where does it go? Let's have a look. Yep, on the counter, just as I imagined it would go. Now, what's going to happen with that is it'll stay there. And it'll start to smell. And the more plates that go on there, the worse the smell will be. Not exactly something to look forward to. So yes, that sink will be missed. Now this is going to use the oven for the first time. I've not seen any of the others use it. They've been going for sort of ready meals and sandwiches. So let's see what Liz is going to make. It looks very much like a salad, so she's not actually using the cooker. Which is a shame, really, because if any of them use the cooker and it catches fire, I won't be able to intervene. They'll have to try and work it out themselves. And If the whole thing goes up in flames, then it's not my fault. So far, it hasn't really had a major effect on the situation, but obviously as the challenge goes along and more things get taken out, the worse it will be. Ah, you see, Liz has worked it out. She's thrown her place in the bin, which is a clever thing. So maybe I shall think about getting rid of the bin next. So, it was the bin that went. So that scuppered Liz's little idea of throwing everything away. So just like everybody else, she'll have to put it on the counter for the time being. Now she's looking a little bit forlorn at the moment because she's quite a sociable person and she hasn't spoken to anybody for quite a while now. And as I said before, we are getting some rather smelly plates on the counter. They are starting to get a little bit low now in their moods, which is why they're hiding away to sob it out, which is quite understandable. I think Liz is doing it as well. Yes, she is.
Strum, Garsha, Blaga.
This crazy character is still talking to everything and anything in the room, which is quite ironic really, because his needs for socialisation is very high because he's talking to himself. So the contestants are now without their beloved TVs. Clearly depression is setting in, boredom's setting in. They do still have their mobile phones though, but I'm not going to be cruel to take those away. As you can see, it seems it's their only form of entertainment at the moment. We are getting quite a build-up of dirty pots as well on the counter. In fact, they have all been eating sandwiches and snacks. They haven't actually used the cooker. In fact, Liz is the only contestant that's used the cooker. So I'm getting to think that maybe they don't need a cooker. Possibly the next thing to go. Seems as you can look, if you look down the end, everybody's just snacking on sandwiches at the moment. Maybe they know that there is a risk of a fire if they use the oven too much. But obviously, Liz was confident enough to use hers. But for now, it's the entertainment on the phones until the battery goes, of course. Yes, it's definitely looking very smelly in those rooms. Not good at all. Yes, very smelly. It's not a very pretty picture, is it? But believe me, it's going to get worse. It's getting close to midnight now. Something else will be taken out the rooms. And this is quite a scary sight. Vlad the vampire has come visiting. Can you imagine waking up in the middle of the night to see that? Just as well, whoever has come to visit is asleep. Right, so it's time to remove the cookers. As I said before, they're not getting used, so they might as well be without them. Thankfully, Vlad is on his way. So, no cooker. Vlad the vampire is still lurking around, which can't be particularly good for the guys. All they seem to be doing at the moment is sleeping. Either sleeping or crying it out. There doesn't seem to be much else to do, to be honest with you. And these smelly plates are piling up. Can you imagine how much it smells in there? Must be awful. But as I said before, they know what they were letting themselves in for.
Wobby. Imagib on the burn. Dolphus.
This crazy guy thinks it's a good idea to talk to the dirty pots and see if it will make them go away. Well, Matt, I've got news for you. They're not going anywhere.
Hinawana Imp. Fandin Gweb.
What else is there to do? I mean, there's hardly anything in the rooms these days, and it's only going to get worse. I'm just thinking about what to take out next. I could be really cruel and take the beds out next. No, I think I know what's going to go next. Something that is going to have a massive impact. Things are starting to get really serious here now. Right, it's time to take something else out. So, no shower now. I think Jerry is okay at the moment because he had a shower just before they were removed. But I don't think Liz or Matt did. And he's still giving earache to his dirty pots. Well, don't worry, my friend. The counter is going to go next, and I'm going to be particularly evil this time because obviously getting rid of the counter isn't going to make any difference whatsoever. So I'm going to take a second item out as well. So tonight at midnight there will be 2 items removed from the rooms. Can you guess what the second item is going to be? There's not much left really. So it'll either be the fridge, the toilet or the bed. I think Matt, who has probably been the strongest character so far, is really starting to struggle now. And there is definitely a bit of a green mist floating around Liz. Yeah, and she's just noticed it too. Is that a green mist on Matt as well? Just as I thought. Oh, look at this state of Liz now. Look, she's filthy. I'm really not looking very happy at all. Were you waving, Janice? Is there anything you want? Tough. And Matt is a bit grimy as well. Right, time to do the double removal. So there's not really a lot to say about this section, simply because nothing happened. They're not being particularly active because all they can do now is just stand there and moan because there's just a toilet and a fridge and that's it. So not a lot has happened really. There's been a couple of grumbles, a couple of moans, lots of bowls of cereal eaten, and that's about it really. Lots of complaining, particularly from Liz. And there's been a few collapses of exhaustion. But I think the fun will start next, because obviously I have to choose whether to get rid of the fridge or the toilet. What would you do? What would you take out? So for this probably penultimate section, I want you to decide which of the 4 contestants has appeared to you to be the strongest. Because once I take the final item out, which is the toilet, things are obviously going to get a bit messy. And there's going to be no commentary for the final part, just some dramatic music, and you can see what happens with the 4 contestants, because there'll be 3 weaker ones and 1 strong one. The strong one will win an open bank account, which will be constantly topped up with money for the rest of their lives. They will also be given a mansion to live in. But what price for winning that? Only one person can do it. Who do you think? Who's been your favourite? Who seems to have really proved themselves to be the strongest and well deserved?
Azarab Wobi.
Complete singular. Linia, hit for pavement. 1, 2, zoom, yip, loy, Affen.
Jumpy, longitude.
Meshka from, you mess a finyo, warping out. Tauba! He's so in there.
As a rebel. Yup, I'm Sonic.
Oh, Ravuda. Oh.
And here is the winner's mansion. 17 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms, nice big car in the drive. And here's your winner. Lisri is looking very glamorous. Obviously, this lifestyle suits her well. Very happy with the win. Of course, tinged with a bit of sadness at the fact that 3 people had to die. But at the end of the day, she was the stronger spirit. And now she's reaping the rewards. Well done, girl.
Georgia. Oh.